Rob, here we go. A massive, massive camp ahead. First of all, how pleased are you with how your squad is looking?
Yeah, we've picked a bigger squad than normal. Normally it'd be about 26 maybe. But we've gone for 28. Yeah, we've got 4 keepers, but looking at the squad of what we've got, I think it's they're a great group together. And even though we've got 4 keepers in, I still think they're important for the environment. With regards to the health of the players and playing minutes at domestic level, it's probably the healthiest position we've been in, Sioned. So I am really pleased that, you know, they listened to what was said in November, and if we can get as many out playing minutes, it's going to benefit us. So hopefully that comes true and helps us get the result we want on Thursday.
Yeah, you're in a really privileged position this time around, because usually players come into camp and you're managing players that aren't playing for their clubs, but now you're in a position where not only are they playing, Rob, they're playing incredibly well. They are,
yeah, they are, Sioned. You're right. You know, you look at the front players that we've got now. It's the right selection headache, but a good one. You know, because for once now, whatever starting 11 we put on the pitch, we have got strength and depth. I can look over my shoulder now, and if we need to put fresh legs on to change the game on the hour mark, then I'm looking at Championship players, Premiership players that are playing well and scoring goals, like you've just alluded to. So I'm really pleased. I went to watch Birmingham last week against Southampton. Brooksy was another level. So, you know, he sets the first goal up. He scores, I think, his second goal. He was up against JJ as well, and JJ done really well. So it was a great battle, a great game to watch. But yeah, we've got players playing well and scoring goals.
What do you think that could do to the mentality of this group? Because now you've got a group of young, hungry players, a lot of them pushing for promotion to get to the Premier League. Do you think that there'll be a slight shift in the mentality going into the Finland game?
Absolutely. At domestic level, they're now, you know, let's use Leeds as an example, and Ipswich. They're both at the top. You know, they've got Brodie, Wes, Kiefer, and then we've got the 4 lads at Leeds. So Ethan and Joe playing together at the back and playing really, really well. The pressure now for those guys is to continue to win, but it's a good pressure. When you're at the top of the table, it's a real good pressure. So I can only imagine that the environment at the Leeds camp and Ipswich is an enjoyable one to go into work every day, and that will feed into us. You know, it's a good environment anyway. But when you've got positive players coming in that are playing well and enjoying their football, that makes a big difference as well. We now have to make it count and capitalise on that, and like I said, get the result that we need on Thursday.
If I could ask about Aaron Ramsey, I think a lot of people may have been a bit surprised to see him in the squad, considering it's been a very frustrating season for him injury-wise. How good does it feel to have him in the squad, and how did it come about? Do you think he's fit and ready? Yeah,
the positive for us is, you know, we're Cardiff trained. Our base is there as well. So I know Sean, head of medical, has had numerous conversations with him. So, you know, it's not even a risk. If he's got a chance of being fit, we're going to put him in the squad, and that's it. He's still got a lot of quality to offer, and we'll assess him again on the weekend. Let's see what happens on the weekend with regards to the game at Swansea and Cardiff. And then after that, we'll have a look at it and see in what capacity we can use him throughout the week. But just having him around the group anyway is positive for me. You know, he was involved in October and November, albeit he couldn't play any minutes because of his injury, but he wanted to be a part of it. So, you know, if I've got a slight chance of getting him fit and I'm naming him in the squad, I'm going to do it.
And how much of a comfort is it? Because times have changed looking back at the last 2 or 3 years. You know, previously if 1 or 2 key players had been missing, people may have panicked slightly. The fact that you've got such a selection, especially in that attack, how much of a comfort is that for you?
Well, it is, and I think now the supporters can see the transition that we've been in. You know, it's all right, all the coaches and the younger coaches for the younger age groups can see the transition, can see the potential that we've got coming through. What's frustrating is it doesn't happen overnight. You have to be patient and we have to wait. You know, yes, it was a big loss losing Gareth after the World Cup, and the Joe Allens of the world and the Chris Gunters and the Johnny Williams, but when you see the JJs coming through and the Kumasis coming through and the Luke Harrises that are now gone out on loan and coming through, and Ruben and Big Joe Lowe, and you know, we're going to be all right. But it takes a little bit of time to transition them into the first team. I've got 3 lads in the squad with us at the minute, 3 young lads from the 21s that played a part of the Gibraltar game, and I'm doing it because that is going to be the future of Welsh football, and we've got to introduce them slowly but surely. So we can see now that there's a definite change in mindset. We do want to qualify for major tournaments because all that young group have had a taste of success albeit at domestic level and international level with the tournaments we've qualified for, and they want it again. So they're hungry for it.
3 youngsters I wanted to mention: Jolo, Charlie Savage.
Yep.
Ruben Chilwell is also back with the first team after a period with the under-21s.
Yep.
Good to see Ruben back in the mix.
Absolutely, yeah, all 3. I had a good conversation with Ruben a few months ago, and it wasn't quite working for him at Cardiff. He was getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated because I see the potential, and he, for some reason, he was playing 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. When I see that if we could get Ruben to be more consistent in his level of performance throughout a full game, 90 minutes, 100 minutes, now the demands on top players now for 100 minutes, and you know, little aspects of his game that we wanted to tweak. Myself and Matty had conversations with him, so it was right to not have him more involved with the senior team and have him as a spare player, but train with us. It was more important for cap accumulation to get him back with the 21s, go and play, you know, half a dozen more games for the 21s, and at the right time, when things have settled, to bring him back up. And that's exactly what we've done. He's earned the right to come back up with us. He's playing well. I'm enjoying watching him play. He's a constant threat, seeing him run with the ball, and he can score goals. So he's earned the right to be back with us.
I know we've spoken about Leeds, but Ethan Ampadu and Dan James are on the cusp of earning their 50th caps for Wales. Rob, that speaks volumes about them as players, especially Ethan Ampadu, who's still only 23 years old. Yeah,
that's right. DJ's only a couple of years older, but what Ethan's done, you know, everybody looks at Ethan as his late 20s because he's been around for so long. But he's an incredible person. Him and DJ, I love the pair of them. They're great lads, first and foremost. And, you know, playing together at Leeds, along with Connor now and Joe Roden. But yeah, they both deserve the plaudits they're going to get, because what they've done for Wales so up to now has been incredible. And they've got a lot of caps yet to come.
So many positives with the squad, like we mentioned, the fact that this is probably the healthiest position you've been in terms of minutes players are playing for their clubs. But, and I feel like it's a conversation we have every camp, goalkeepers are still an issue in terms of not getting many minutes. Is it a big frustration, or is it something that you're used to dealing with by now? Yeah,
we are used to it. It's not ideal, but I can't complain because, you know, 99% of the squad is playing and fit. Touch wood, we need to get this weekend out of the way. But
yeah, how will the nerves be this weekend, Rob?
Well, horrendous. It will be. Yeah, I'm probably not even going to watch a game this weekend. I'm just going to hide away and wait for that phone to go. And if it doesn't go, we're all right. I just get in my car Sunday and drive to the hotel to meet up. So, yeah, we I forgot what I was saying.
Goalkeepers.
Thank you. Goalkeepers. Yeah, that's the only position that we're not playing. And, you know, whether it's politics or whatever, if I put my player's head on for 2 minutes, I understand Wardy's predicament. I understand Wayne's predicament, you know. But it is what it is. We can't change that. We can't influence it anymore. We just have to deal with it. And as they've done in the past, they'll turn up on camp. They'll be ready to go. I know Wardy has played a couple of 23s games. It's not the same, don't get me wrong, but he's made that effort to go out because he knows the importance of the games coming up. And yeah, we'll deal with it now on camp and get him in a position, the 4 keepers in a position to pick a keeper to play.
Just a couple more from me. It feels like yesterday, but it was 2 years ago to now we were preparing to face Austria for the World Cup playoff. The fact that we've been in this situation before, Rob, there's a lot of pressure to get to Germany, but the fact that we've been there, we've done it, how much of a boost do you think that will be?
Absolutely, it'll make a big difference, Sean. And yeah, they've been exposed. The majority of this group have been exposed to high-pressured situations, environments, and they've come through it with flying colours. So you know, there's no bigger test than against Ukraine with the emotions involved in that night, and we come through that. So I've no doubt of that whatsoever. You know, throughout this whole campaign, we've learned a lot from approach to games, different types of opposition. You know, whether it's Croatia, whether it's Armenia, whether it's Turkey, whether it's Latvia, you know, we have to have that same mental attitude, irrespective of who we're playing against. And that's been the biggest learning curve for me as a coach, but us as a group of players as well. So we're already on the front foot with that. I've got Mitch involved in it with the senior group, and we're already, you know, sending messages to the players with regards to mindset ready. So when we meet up on Sunday, our first training ground session on Monday, we hit the ground running with it.
And the fact that you'll be playing at home in the Cardiff City Stadium, I remember we were up in Leeds and Joe Roden actually said you can't underestimate the power of the fact that they're playing at home, because it's a cliche, but you know, the Welsh fans, they are the 12th man.
Absolutely, and I keep saying it, and I'll never get sick of saying it. You know, they're that special. They certainly played a massive part in getting us to the World Cup. All the success we've had at home is because of what the home crowd do for us. And like I said, I'm in a privileged position where I stand and I see the opposing players, and even they're in awe of it. They can't, you know, believe what they're hearing. So that's how important the supporters are for us. It's another sellout on Thursday night, and we can't wait. And we're in good form there, Sioned. You know, we look at the results overall in the campaign, and yeah, there's one result in particular that will always stand out. But beyond that, look at Croatia at home, look at Turkey at home. You know, we could have had 3 penalties in that game, but the level of performance was outstanding. So the boys will be full of confidence. We've got the welcome meeting already mapped out with some of the good bits of play that we've had over the last few games at home. And if they're not up for it after that, I've seen the video, and if they're not up for it after that, then they're in the wrong job. But we'll have them fired up and ready.
Rob, diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr, Sion.